Look at this cute little guy in the garden. Hello, snake. Caspian is back in with his ladies. Look at these beautiful babies. They're getting so big. I may end up keeping the babies this year. I haven't decided, but I think we're going to retire Margot and keep all 3 of her babies. Miss Marigold from last year and the 2 from this year. Hey, pretty ladies. And my good boy. I'm going to have to trade out Caspian, though, for an unrelated ram, which I'm nervous about because he's been so good. And I'm nervous if I get a different ram, I'm going to get a not so nice ram. But I think after he does his job this year, we're going to be looking at getting a different ram so that we can keep these babies and get them bred too. I was trying to figure out how to separate Miss Margot out because she's still in milk. But there really isn't a good way for me to separate her out. So everybody is in the barn right now, and once she is done being milked, my plan is to, well, if the ram is still in here, my plan is to separate her out into the yard. But if by the time that she's out of milk, the ram is not going to be in here any longer, then I'll just move him out. There shouldn't be any issue with the babies being in here. They're too young. We're not going to have to worry about them getting bred, but I don't want Miss Margot getting her bred, and I don't think she'll go back into heat since she had her babies so late. But I highly doubt she'll go back into heat. Just doing some late night chores in the dark. I don't like when the sun starts going down earlier very much because then I have to do my nighttime chores in the dark. And it gets a little bit more complicated with schedule and stuff to make sure you're home for the rogue chickens that don't go to bed. But hopefully it'll start cooling down soon because it was 91 degrees today in September and it's hot and sticky and gross. And I am ready for the fall and the cool weather. I am starting to teach our little chicks how to free range. They can still fit through this net fence, which I did not think that they would attempt to do. But they aren't going too far. They usually I will come out close to sunset and let them out maybe like an hour before. Watch them really closely, make sure nobody takes off, and kind of help usher them back in at night because sometimes they need a little bit of what do they call it when you're herding back into where they need to sleep at night. And then I just slowly each day give them a little bit more time so that they can explore and figure out how to come back at night and make sure there's no issues. Usually I wait till they're a little bit older to start free ranging them, but they are running out of space. So I want them to start free ranging and eventually be going to bed in the big coop because I've got tons and tons of space in the big coop to add chickens. Did that intentionally because I was planning on expanding my egg production by a lot. We've been working hard on mulching the garden today, and we just went to the farm store and picked up some garlic, and I want to show you how massive this garlic is. Can you see that? It's huge. It's like triple cloves on there. It's ginormous, and compared to like the tiny little bulbs that I was growing, which are fine. So like I got I forget what they're called. There's like Japanese striped garlic or something like that. I got them from a friend like several years ago, and they are just naturally very small garlic, which is, you know, great if you're not wanting to have really large garlic cloves for when you're cooking. I don't know, it can be useful, but usually if I'm going to be dicing up garlic, I'd rather dice up a giant clove of garlic, and I'm really wanting to grow enough that I can make our own powdered garlic and stuff, which I did not get nearly enough garlic last year at all. It's time for us to get persimmons. It's end of September here in South Carolina. I've been told that a lot of places these are ready in November, but here they're ready now. As the persimmons begin to ripen, you'll notice a color change. They start to turn from like a light orange into, they get to a darker, almost purple color, and they'll start to get squishy. Before they're ready, they'll be really hard. Like I'm really squeezing this and not making any dent in there. But when they start to get ripe, like this one, whoops, that one just fell right off. See, they're all falling off. That's how we know they're ready. They'll be pretty squishy. You can even pick them up from the ground. The ones that fall, a lot of times, are the most sweet. Like this one doesn't have any broken spots on it, no bugs or anything. So I will even pick them up from the ground, honestly. My persimmon tree is really tall, so I'm probably gonna get like 1% of the fruit off of here. I may be able to get more off the ground, but I can only reach the very bottom of this tree. When they're ready too, they'll just come very easily off. You won't really have to pull at all. That's one of the ways that you know that they're ripe too, and that is super helpful for them to just come right off. Got a good bucket full, so let's go take this inside and we'll start getting it ready to make into jam. If you have never eaten a persimmon before, if you get them when they're not ripe, they are an astringent, and as soon as you bite into that, it will take all the liquid out of your mouth. All right, so it is time for us to get some garlic planted. I have some garlic from last year that I'm going to plant, and then I also got some more garlic from the farm store to supplement it a little bit, so we will have lots more garlic. The stuff I got from the farm store is huge compared to the stuff that I grew. So I'm going to clear out an area in here, and then we can get our garlic planted. Right, so here is the garlic I got from the farm store. It is huge with like multiple layers of cloves on there. It looks so good. So all we're gonna do, planting garlic is super easy. All we're gonna do is break off the cloves. We're not gonna take the paper off of them. Like if you need to take the outer layer of paper off to get the cloves broken up, that's fine. But we're just going to break apart the cloves, and then we will plant them. May have overdone it on getting the garlic. This is not all of it. I still have 4 more heads in there to take apart, but I'm gonna start with this and we're gonna put it in the ground. I just noticed my redbud tree was missing a lot of leaves and saw all these caterpillars on there. I don't know what kind of caterpillar that is, if that's a good guy or a bad guy. Does anybody know what kind that is? All right, so I just looked it up and it looks like it may be a red-headed azalea caterpillar that eats mostly azaleas, but also sometimes apple trees. But it doesn't look like it turns into any kind of cool butterfly. We're just gonna start with this section here. I'm gonna give these garlic more room than I do the ones that I'm saving from homegrown garlic because the bulbs were much bigger. So you just wanna put like the bottom part of the garlic that was attached to the clove kind of into the ground just a little bit, not the whole way. There's a piece of wood there. Just a little bit. We're gonna give them some space. And then after we get all these in here, we will just give them a layer of straw, and that will keep them covered until they start growing. Hopefully chickens won't get into our garlic this year. When I do plantings, I like to do, I don't know what you would call that, like a diagonal shape, zigzaggy, because you can get more in by doing it this way versus doing all of the rows the same way. You can fit more into your space when you do it like a zigzaggy shape like that, if that makes sense. The weather is saying that we're supposed to have a week of rain coming, so now is a great time to get our stuff planted. and try to get everything out of the garden before all the rain comes. Got my garlic in here. I got a little bit too close when I was putting them in there, but it'll be all right. And then I'm gonna cover it up with some straw, and I started another patch because I had more that I couldn't fit. So I started another patch here. So I will fill the rest of this in with my homegrown garlic from last year and get that covered up with straw. And then we just leave it alone until June of next year, and then we'll pull it up. Super easy. Got it all covered up with straw, and the rain will water it. Our job is done until next year. I grabbed a bunch of watermelon. I'm gonna grab these tomatoes back here. Ironically, looking at the weather with all this rain coming, it is the 1-year anniversary of Helene beginning a year ago. Which means we need to make sure that our generator is working, do like a yearly test on it. And I was just checking to see, with all the weather and stuff, it looks like there is nothing that we need to be worried about, but it's just ironic that there's another hurricane coming called Imelda, and that is why we are looking at having a lot of rain over the next week. Just interesting, ironic. I mean, it's hurricane season, so that's to be expected, but can't get over the irony of it. This time I am making sure I pick my dry beans before all the rain comes so they don't get ruined again. I am getting this video all put together and ready to go up tomorrow, and realized I never finished it. So just as a quick update, garlic's all in the ground. The Hurricane Imelda, I'm sure you saw it, went way out to sea, so we ended up just having a bunch of cloudy days and not really a whole lot of rain. I'm gonna try maybe laying some sheets down underneath my persimmon tree, so then when they fall, I know that they're clean and fresh and I can gather them up and make some jam to fill the pantry up. Other than that, it's been a pretty chill week. So I hope you're having a great week and that the weather is cooling off where you live and you're getting ready for all the fun fall things. And I will see you next time. Bye.